Okay, the scene is a engineering education conference. James is a textbook distributor, and I am presenting my digital textbook to him at the conference. This is a pivot from my previous project I did, so we're only going to go through the first couple stages. All right. Hello. Hey, I'm Daryl McCune with CIT. We're a electronic digital textbook, and some teachers that I was speaking with mentioned that they use your textbooks in their classroom. So they thought that it may be of a benefit for me to share what we do in regards to having a digital portion to go with the textbook. Do you have a moment?
Yeah, I have a little bit of spare time, but I really don't have a bunch of money in my budget for any new projects.
Okay, that's definitely understandable. I spoke to a couple other textbook distributors before arriving with you, and they also felt the same way. But what they found was by going through the demo with me, they were interested in looking at future opportunities.
Well, if they're interested, I definitely want to hear more about your product and service.
Sure. Tell me a little bit about the success of your sales. As I mentioned, the teachers, they were all raving about using your textbook. When you bring textbooks to market in your distribution channel, is it a group collective decision on how you decide what goes on the shelves, or do you make all those decisions yourself?
Well, as CEO, I'm usually just the only one making that decision. I don't really have any outside help.
Okay, that's great. So what is the factors in which you decide which textbooks will be made available to the teachers?
Well, there are a variety of factors that go into the actual textbook distribution.
And but tell me, what are some of the key factors? What are the top three that you can think of?
Well, the top three, in my opinion, that this is based on what teachers actually like, and that is accuracy. You want to make sure that whatever content you're providing in your textbook is accurate and up to date. And you don't want to provide old stuff that's outdated, things like that.
Okay.
Another main key ingredient or factor to this whole process is actually organization. You want to make sure your book flows well. You want to make sure it's easy to use, an easy read, and that it's user friendly. Now, the third feature that's good with distribution is just making sure I have good, strong bells and whistles. A little bit of things that give me an edge on my competition.
Okay. So out of those three, and just to make sure I heard you correctly, you were saying that the accuracy of the content and the information, making sure that it's up to date, having an organization and a flow that's easy to read for students and teachers alike, and then the bells and whistles. Out of those three, which one would you say is the area that is the most challenging when competing with your rival distributors?
Well, the issue that's most challenging is the bells and whistles, because there's a lot of publication companies out there. We basically are doing the same thing, but in order to have an edge, you need to have some sort of bell or whistle or some sort of advantage to what you produce over your competition.
Okay, now what if I told you that the digital textbook that CIT is developing is very keen on actually making that differentiation between you and your competition? Would that be something that you'd be interested in learning more of and probably testing out?
Yes, I would be interested in that. Anything to get an edge over other people in my profession, because we're all doing the same thing. Basically, we provide the content. The content is generally the same because we're providing it based on the school curriculum. So it's basically the same content, and basically you're just using a printing press to print that off. So if I can get any kind of edge over my competition, that would really interest me.
Okay, and I am keeping in mind the budget constraint in regards to the project. We do have a freemium model which allows you to test drive the content with an expectation that if the impact that it has in your classroom is increased by 10% or more, then it may be something that you'd be willing, because of those results, to make an investment in. But one thing I did want to ask is, are there any other concerns that you may have in regards to just this industry and this competition situation?
No, that's the main concern. Like I said earlier, everything else is pretty self-explanatory, but when you're getting out there and you're competing against other major publications, you really want to have that edge.
Okay. I think that I want to show you the demo now. The demo that we have is actually an example of what school teachers in mathematics use. They have the math textbook, like yours might be a math textbook that you would have, and then we provide a digital app attachment that comes with the textbook. So in our previous experience, students who use the textbook and then use the digital app that does math, in that activity they can do using the app, they can take pictures and then do probability in their math. And that probability problem, they're learning it from a physical or kinesthetic learning, which is hands-on, plus the textbook reading. And this is how we've proved that it was successful, because we've gotten their responses and then compared their grades. Is this something that, if I understood you correctly, might be an edge that it will be beneficial between you and your competition?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely taking it to the digital level and getting the kids involved is definitely what most teachers are looking for now. So I think that would be a good edge.
Okay, so once again, keeping in mind the budget situation that you mentioned, is there any other reason that you wouldn't be interested in trying to use our freemium model, which makes sure that it doesn't touch your budget, except conditionally that we can produce the same results of 10% or higher in scores from students who've used our product?
No, sign me up.
Okay, sounds great. Let's get this paperwork that's on our app going.
All right.